Our beautiful Earth is getting warmer. This is not just a small change. Scientists call this long-term heating global warming. It means the average temperature all over our planet is slowly going up. This warming trend has been happening for many years, especially since humans started building many factories and using more machines. This period is often called the pre-industrial era, a time before we used so many fossil fuels. The change we are observing is significant and affects every living thing on our planet, from the smallest insect to the largest whale. It is a phenomenon that requires our careful attention and understanding. The main reason our planet is getting warmer is because of human activities. When we burn fuels like coal, oil, and gas, we release special gases into the air. We burn these fossil fuels for many things. We use them to power our cars and aeroplanes. We use them to make electricity for our homes and schools. Factories also use a lot of energy, often from these same fuels, to make the products we use every day. This widespread burning of ancient carbon stores is changing the delicate balance of our atmosphere, a balance that has existed for millennia, supporting life as we know it. These gases are called greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide, often called CO2, is the most common one we talk about. Methane is another powerful greenhouse gas. These gases go up into the atmosphere, which is the layer of air that surrounds our Earth. Once there, they act like a blanket. This invisible blanket traps heat from the sun. Some trapping of heat is natural and good. It keeps our planet warm enough for life. But now, because we are adding so many extra greenhouse gases, the blanket is becoming too thick. It is trapping too much heat, causing the Earth to warm up more than it should. This process is often called the greenhouse effect. Imagine a greenhouse used for growing plants. The glass roof lets sunlight in, which warms the air and plants inside. The glass also stops some of the heat from escaping. Greenhouse gases in our atmosphere do something very similar for the whole Earth. They let the sun's light pass through to warm the Earth's surface. Then, when the Earth tries to send some of this heat back out into space, these gases trap a portion of it. This keeps the Earth warmer. While a natural greenhouse effect is vital, the enhanced effect from our activities is causing the current global warming. Scientists have been studying the Earth's temperature for a very long time. They have many ways to measure it, from weather stations on land to ships at sea, and even satellites in space. These careful measurements show us a clear pattern. The Earth has been getting steadily warmer, particularly since around the late 19th century. This is when human industrial activity really began to increase on a large scale. The records show that this warming is not just a random fluctuation, it is a consistent and upward trend observed across the entire globe. This long-term heating is what we refer to as global warming, a significant shift in our planet's energy balance. The numbers tell a very clear story. Compared to the time before factories and widespread use of fossil fuels, the Earth's average surface temperature has risen by about 1.1 degrees Celsius. This might not sound like a very big number, but for our planet, it is a huge change. Think of it like a person having a fever. Even a small rise in body temperature can make you feel quite unwell. Our planet is experiencing a similar kind of fever. Most of this warming has happened in the last 40 years, with recent years being the warmest ever recorded. This acceleration is deeply concerning. We can already see the effects of this warming all around us. Huge sheets of ice in places like Greenland and Antarctica are melting faster than before. Glaciers in mountains all over the world are shrinking. This melting ice adds water to the oceans, causing sea levels to rise. We are also seeing more extreme weather events. Heat waves are becoming more common and more intense in many parts of the world. Some areas are experiencing more severe droughts, while others are facing heavier rainfall and floods. These are not isolated incidents, they are symptoms of a changing global climate system. Even a small change in the average global temperature can have very big consequences for our planet's delicate ecosystems and for human societies. Animals and plants are adapted to specific climates. As the climate changes, many species struggle to survive. Coral reefs, vibrant underwater cities of life, are bleaching and dying due to warmer ocean waters. Changes in rainfall patterns can affect farming, making it harder to grow enough food for everyone. Understanding these connections is vital, as the health of our planet is directly linked to our own well-being and survival. It is very important to understand the difference between weather and climate. Weather is what we experience every day. It is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular place and time. Is it sunny today? Is it raining this week? Will it be windy tomorrow afternoon? These are all questions about the weather. Weather can change very quickly from hour to hour and from day to day. One day might be warm and bright, and the next could be cold and grey. This constant change is a natural part of how our atmosphere behaves in the short term. Climate, on the other hand, is something much bigger and longer term. Climate is the average weather pattern for a particular region over many, many years. We usually talk about climate in terms of decades or even centuries. For example, we know that the Sahara Desert has a hot and dry climate. This doesn't mean it never rains there, but on average, over a long period, it is very dry. Similarly, we know that Antarctica has a very cold and icy climate. Climate describes the typical conditions you would expect in a place based on long-term observations, not just a snapshot of a few days. Sometimes people get confused. They might say it was a very cold winter this year, so global warming can't be real. But a single cold day, or even a cold winter, is an example of weather. Global warming refers to the change in the long-term climate, the average conditions over the whole planet over many years. So, while some places might still have cold weather, the overall trend for the Earth's climate is that it is getting warmer. Looking at one specific weather event doesn't tell us about the long-term changes happening to our global climate system. Think of it like this: your mood can change from day to day. That is like the weather. Some days you might feel happy, other days a bit sad, but your personality is more like the climate. It is your general character and way of being over a long time. Global warming is a change in the Earth's personality, its long-term climate, not just a temporary mood swing in its daily weather. Understanding this distinction helps us see the bigger picture of what is happening to our world due to the increasing greenhouse gas concentrations. There is a well-known saying that helps to explain this difference quite simply. Climate is what you expect, weather is what you get. This wise observation captures the essence of the distinction we have been discussing. We expect certain conditions based on the long-term climate of a region. For instance, we expect hot summers in a Mediterranean country. However, on any given day during that summer, we might get a surprisingly cool day or an unexpected rain shower. That is the weather we actually experience. This quote reminds us that daily variations are normal, but the underlying expectation, the climate, is built from long-term patterns. This saying perfectly highlights why a single cold spell, or even a particularly snowy winter in one region, does not disprove the reality of global warming. Global warming describes a change in what we should expect over the long run, a shift in the baseline conditions of our planet's climate system. The weather we get will still vary day by day and year by year, but the average of all that weather, the climate, is trending warmer. Scientists look at decades of data from all over the world to determine these climatic trends, providing a comprehensive view beyond individual weather events. Understanding global warming and the difference between weather and climate is incredibly important for all of us. It helps us make sense of the changes we see happening in the world around us. It allows us to understand the warnings from scientists and to appreciate the seriousness of the situation. When we understand the causes, primarily our burning of fossil fuels and the resulting increase in greenhouse gases, we can then begin to think about solutions. This knowledge empowers us to make informed decisions, both in our own lives and as a society, about how we produce and use energy. The future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come depends on the choices we make today. Young people, our children and grandchildren, will inherit the Earth we leave behind. By understanding the science of global warming, we can appreciate the urgent need to act. We must work together to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, to transition to cleaner forms of energy, and to protect the natural world that sustains us all. Our shared home is a precious place, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure it remains a vibrant and healthy planet for all life.